or a framework to solve this thing. So qualitative research, when we talk about conceptual models, we are talking about the central things that qualitative research is dealing with. We are going to see in a sec the different models that every researcher deal with in terms of conceptual models. Okay, so some people, they don't understand that in qualitative research and quantitative research, what is the difference in terms of our aims?
The numbers versus explanation. Yeah, theory, probably theorizing.
Theorizing, okay.
And also in quantitative, we usually use hypothesis, so it's pretty structured understanding. So something goes whatever. So there's cause and consequences. It's quantitative.
Yeah, cause and effect.
And the qualitative, it's, there is always research questions and sub-questions.
That is right. So one of the things that you look at, and most people they don't get it, is that in qualitative research we test a theory. We have a presupposition, we have a hypothesis in our mind, we have a literature review that back all those things or back two sides, and then we try to test this to be sure. In qualitative, no, we don't do that. In qualitative, we build a theory through, it's like building our concepts. And that is exactly what grounded theory sometimes may do. And this is the major thing between qualitative and quantitative. Because you have a hypothesis, you have things in quantitative and you want to test it. So, I will give you few seconds to look at different models, and then we will, in a pair of two, you are going to create some models by the end of the class, not now, for now, it is just I'm going to distribute. This is the handout for the presentation. You can pass it around. Okay. So if you want to jot some information or to take notes, it's okay. How are you? And those are the two things that I'm going to show you, like some how to represent conceptual models. And maybe you are working on something now. Put this in your mind as we go through and this is yours, yeah. So this is a model. As you can see, we'll go over them very quick in your handouts. When you end up, like analyzing qualitative research, and when you put it in a conceptual way, in a conceptual model, that summarizes everything. Look at this research. It's conceptual one describe how adults respond to simulated literacy assessment. Simulated literacy assessment. So those are patients in hospitals. And so what do you expect? What do you think about literacy? Are there data? Are going to be tested? All those things are going to be part of the whole package. So look at the model directly. So perceived risk of literacy exposure. They are going to be exposed to literacy. They are going to show them. And those are, as I said, are patients in a hospital. So what's that going to give us? What's that going to teach us? So the expectation. Think about that. In qualitative research, we always try to make meaning. If you don't think that, like I'm going to extract meaning from the participant. Don't do qualitative research. You have to live it. You have to think about the interaction. Modeling factor of the hospital as a special place. In the hospital, are they going to do it for us? Enrichment program literacy in the hospital? That is, it could be in the school, but in a hospital, this will not be it is an awkward idea. You understand? So, and then perceive risk of non-disclosure during hospitalization. What they are going to test us, because in their mind also they are in hospitals and they are tested in things. Two, diagnostic, So you see this models and then positive redisposition to screening. Are they going to be, think about them. Think yourself as in that position. What comes, there is a whole things of, mapping you are doing in your thinking and your behavior and your interaction and all of that, So actual response to screening experience, and then individual, personal, and historic factors. So all those play in the model. So look at this research. It is summarized in what? I'm not reading the whole paper, I'm not reading the whole thesis. But this is the best thing about conceptual models. It sums up all the things, and even I can imagine and I can envision, how things could be. Look at the second page. Those are whole research. You are going to read maybe 6 or 7 research in 5 minutes. Okay? So this is any one of you involved in doing diet or losing weight?
I should.
Yeah, you should, but you didn't?
No, I'm in the process.
So think about it. What entails? It entails what? Especially this is for women, not for men. Men, they are good, if they are fat or that, which is not good.
What are the reasons behind?
What's the reason? Is it prescribed by the doctor? Is it, okay? What's the questions that come to your mind? All of you, I see that you are not overweight, okay? But if you just...
How to lose weight.
I have to lose weight.
How to lose it.
How to lose it?
Yeah, so whatever way, the easiest way.
Yeah. What other questions that come? What other questions? How to lose it?
What to eat?
What to eat? The dietary. What?
Maybe for the workout.
Scheduling, working out.
Yeah, am I able to continue?
To continue, yeah.
Am I able to resist food?
That is right.
That's it.
Yeah. Same thing, yeah. Sometimes, okay, if I lose weight, whoops.
Nice.
If I'm regaining weight again, what happened? Okay, all those efforts could be part of the things. So this is interview with women who are seeking weight loss. Exactly. First things, desperateness. How I'm going to do it, so see, and I can show it to you here. Maybe, in the screen it will be better. Let me close this. And so, let's think it will take it out of the screen, hopefully. This is the first example that I gave you about, what it entails, simulated literacy. It is not only literacy, but it is simulated literacy given to patient and their reaction to that, and how they think about the whole process. The second thing is about, I wish if I can rotate it. What is that?
Yeah, right click please.
Yeah.
More. No, right click.
Yes, right
down
bottom,
press.
right bottom,
Yeah,
right bottom, more,
down.
after
no.
print,
Huh?
The first button.
right bottom.
دكتور آخر
Corner.
شيء ده
More?
more.
Yes.
Yeah, more.
Rotate.
Rotate.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, you know, it's like this is about phase one. Desperateness. You know, it's like I'm fat. You know, it's like I'm going, how I'm going to do it. You know, it's like I'm thinking about food. I'm thinking about my shit. Especially when you talk about women, you know, it's like they are very clear. You know, it's like there is more than that. So there is sociocultural reason. There is want to lose weight for health reason. But I also want to keep my, you know, it's like shape. So think about phase, this is the first way, phase, seeking weight loss. And then the second phase, weight loss dieting phase, and how this will interact. And then the third phase is like the pain. And all the pain, the physiological factor, fear of weight, returning, the parental messages, being seen as problem, also, you know, it's like, all those things intermingle in your mind. And so when I interview people, I'm going to map all the things that, you know, in terms of phases. So this is a long history of losing weight and gaining the lost weight back. Oops. If I am okay, all my efforts will be crushed. So those are all, yes?
I hope it's not too early to ask a question.
No?
Okay, so the survey you just said was that, so when you're interviewing people, these become the questions you ask. My question would be, how does this develop?
No, those are the themes you extract and the conceptual map that you come up with.
Yeah, so this was before the interview.
No. This is after the interview.
Oh, this is after.
After the information.
Okay.
I am talking about, you know, like what are the phases that they.
Okay.
You can have it differently. You understand? You can have it totally differently than this phase. And this is the beautiful of the qualitative research.
So this is the result of the research. It summarizes the result of the research.
Exactly.
Not the literature.
No.
The literature, it packs you here a little bit, you understand? But this is what you extract from your data.
From my study.
Huh?
What I found from my study.
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
result was
that is right.
okay.
But it has, you know, like, think about it, it sums up all the things.
Yes.
As if, as I said, you know, it's like you are going to read, yes?
Is it based on the coding, right? Is it the coding?
What is that, coding?
Coding, yes.
Yeah,
It's like, you don't know Atlas TI?
yeah,
So they.
different program.
Yeah, they allow you to, like, when you read the.
Organize the
article, you put
data,
all
like in
the-
Vivo, all of those, yeah.
Yes.
And
And
you
then
can make it like
Yes,
this,
Vivo also.
Yeah,
like this.
you can make it yourself, yeah.
There is option.
I wish if I would show you, know, like some of the maps of my students.
Have it if you want to see. Okay, see.
Again, rotate,
Here.
more,
This is the Atlas TI. This one.
no.
But I don't have the codes because I just started my thesis. Okay, so if you put coding on them, then you put the codes, for example, focus on audience.
This is one example. Just bear in mind, you know, like,
Different.
not all things, as we are going to explain very quick, not all things happen in this sequence. Sometimes it is procedural, sometimes it is decision making. It is different. The map is different according to your the research that you are doing. So look at this. This is I call it conditional matrix.
Just one question. Here for modeling, for cost modeling, depends upon the size of the sample.
Not at all. You know, like the samples do not. You know, like unless for some qualitative data, for example, if I'm doing a ground theory, I should have like 25 interviewees. So it depends on what you are doing.
I think it
But this is a general thing, yeah?
I think it depends on the saturations. So once you reach the saturation, whether they are 50 or emphasizes the point that you started with.
Yeah, but when you tell that, like the data saturation is happening, it depends on the researcher if he needs more data condensation. We'll talk about this. So this is a conditional matrices. For example, if there is action and reaction, at some point we are talking about human factor here. So action interaction. If I'm chatting with this, it's like what? It's like why is this professor? Like talk to this special students all the time during the class. So there is, and you are coming with your hunches and everything. Why hand, not this or not this? Because I know Ofa for a long time. Okay, so in terms of individuals, in terms of the household, in terms of neighborhood, what's happening? Think about, like those are conditional. And conditional sometimes, and this is grounded theory. This is Strauss and Corbin, the first ones that I used back then when I did my research. But think about the behavior. Is the behavior of the professor, is it all right? Like to talk or privilege one student, single one. Okay, what about the environment? They can talk outside of the class, like it's a private talk. What about, like the emotion? Like, yeah. Sometimes with intensity. So we are talking about human being. There are different conditions that establish for us, like how people think about, like their feelings, their behavior, their environment, culture, their thoughts. So all of this is conditional. So we call it conditional man. Okay. Look at this one. This is fair for decision making. If I have a problem, what is the first thing that I'm going to think about?
What caused the problem?
What caused the problem? Okay? Or,
The background of the problem.
what is that?
Background.
Background of the, you have to recognize it. You have to recognize the problem. In the first place, there is a problem. And this is a challenging question for my PhD and my master students. When I ask them, it's like, what is your research problem? Those are my research questions. The research problem is the central idea. All your thesis or your dissertation or your paper is
About.
circling around. To just recognize there is a problem. Some people say don't. You understand? Well, my kids are fine, or for families. If like there is self-denial, yeah. If a woman, like she has a child with disability, she doesn't want to see that because but the recognition of the problem itself is very important. So I recognize the problem, and then what do? I do diagnostic. Oh, so I'm going to intersect it. I'm going to take it apart. I'm going to do. Okay. So. Okay, I diagnose it. What are the generation of alternatives? How I'm going to go around this problem or to solve it? Selection of an alternative. So I have different alternatives. I have to go this. All this you can also map it in your. Then I monitor and evaluate my alternatives. I check this, I check this, I check this, and see, so there is a resolution. But think about, like generation of alternative. It may take me back to, oh, maybe this is not exactly the problem. I'm making the problem very crystallized now because I'm testing it here. Selection of alternative, monitoring and evaluated. When I evaluate, always, the problem, okay, let us refine it. And this is what happened in qualitative research all the time. You trying to see your hunches, are they, like, and this is the most important part of conceptual framework, is not building it, it is testing it. Does it hold water? So, in terms of individual pairs, stakeholders, family, community, support staff, primary, recognition and diagnosis, identification, selection of alternative, monitoring, secondary choice, and specialized care, resolution. So I'm going, like in the different phases to do that. This is transition between types of treatment. They begin here, they wait for hospital, you see, pills, they try home remedy, as all of us, like, okay, do the ginger or do, you understand, we will do it all, especially in our Arab culture. Oh, this is a good thing, is to do that and to do that. Okay, so travel healer, okay, and clinic, they go on pills, and then hospitals, then like nurse, and then at the end. So it is a transition between types of treatment. Am I going, like, so it is like a screening. We are going to see all those are representative of different conceptual models. Conceptual models could be about, like decision making, about, like, about transition models, about process models. It's different, you understand? Because this is exactly what we are looking at. More. There is what? There is another type of models which is taxonomies. You understand? If, for example, most of you are Arab, when you do taxonomies, how do you think about Arabs?
Based on their country?
Their countries, yes. But sometimes we talk about, we lump them in regional. When we say, like Blad al-Sham, we don't think about Syria in particular. It is, like Palestinian, like Jordanian, this is all this area. And then we have a model for the Far East, which Iraq, and then the Gulf country of Peninsula, the Arabian Peninsula, Saudi Arabia, we lump them together. Those people in Africa, like Mauritania and Sudan, because they are mixed with, like it is in Africa. So it comes for you what we call taxonomies. Always your mind deals with taxonomies. Always you try to arrange things in your mind. For example, when we deal with passenger cars, it could be a pickup or trucks. We're done with that. We don't want, like we're not interested in that, like because we can also elaborate on that. But cars, for us, it could be vans or station wagon or regular car. Is that true? In your mind it comes this. And regular car could be a luxury car, sporty cars, regular sedans, four-wheel drive. In terms of, it could be Jeep type wagon, conventional wagon, and so on. In terms of vans, it could be custom vans or work vans. So it comes to you as this way, taxonomies. It will call the time. The idea of taxonomies. It's science. We do, like, and in our mind, we try to filter and put things to organize things in our mental map. And even words in our mental dictionary. Human beings, they have this tendency of organizing things, to look at regularities. And this is exactly what qualitative and even qualitative data do. Research look at regularities. I want to describe things in a regular terms. So, and this is another one. I'm going to go with this because it has to do with, start rotating. This is a model of what? Mental models. They ask expert fishermen who work for a long time to decide about, I think, like 50 type of fish. And those who come to buy, to sell fish, those are regular, to describe them in mentally. You understand? For example, if you come to your mom and enter the kitchen, yeah? Just we talk about girls here, okay? She has a mental things organizing the kitchen in a way that it is a mentally fitting her purpose and her, she put this very close because she needs it on daily basis. This is a little bit far because she doesn't need it that much. This is a little bit far. And when you are a little girl and you enter that, it's like you look at it and your mom say, no, we don't put this here, we put it here. It's like you're, So, she's expert. There is a difference between somebody who look at things with abundance of experience and somebody who is novice. So this is the expert one. Look at that. Oh, that's fish that belong here. Oh, and these are novice. Look at their organization. This is, to them, 50 kinds of fish should be organized like that because this is like one family, like language, like race, like everything. It belongs to a type of mental models that they belong to. So those are the experts. See how they organize things, and those are the novels. They just see the thing. Because they don't have that experience to put things into, so those are mental models. So, in essence, when we do conceptual models, we do it for different reasons. Okay, this will be the last one, okay? So, see how many research that you read in 5 minutes. Just by reading the concept map and you get to the idea. So don't complicate your idea. Make it very clear and go ahead and do it. It will turn out to be a great thing. Sometimes we undermine little ideas, but little ideas count. And it makes a huge difference about research. And according to your discipline, okay? Oh, no. Okay, yes. So return back on this in your mind, so there is different what we learned so far. What do we learn so far?
And different frameworks for different purposes.
Exactly, there is different purposes. There is, different purposes when you do conceptual model. It could be about decision making. It could be about process of doing like a cake. It could be about, process of how those people in the village go to the doctor or approach the doctor or talk to the doctor. It could be about a teacher in the classroom and how he organizes, or novice teacher and experienced teacher like those fish, how they do their, how they approach their students. It could be about, doctors. It could be, just try to fit it to your discipline. I didn't ask you about discipline, but some of you are from College of Education, you are?
Engineering.
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 Medicine.
Medicine, mashallah. Library. It's a guy who will help you, So, this is we're done with this, okay? So, think about, introduction. This is a statistical model and text analysis, adding weight to direction. It's like how this will add to my, adding weight to direction. It's about is this, it feeds on what direction of the analysis? You got the idea? It could be even in quantitative research. Okay? Different conceptual model. Building models. Identify key concepts. And this is where, what are the key concepts there? Always you get it from your data. Always you get it from your themes and your data. So, I'm not sure what happened here. Linking key construct. Because you end up sometimes with different things. Sometimes you try to fit those very close themes to other things and you are linking. And the conditional matrices. You remember the conditional matrices? It belongs to what? Emotion? Is it behavior? Is it? So, actor interaction models and always process models. Process models work best when you are talking about a process. In engineering, what is your research is about? People in engineering.
Acceptance of technology, of building technologies.
Acceptance of, what do you think? It belongs to what model?
Yeah.
Are they, if you take it like transition, they get it from a little bit by little bit by little, you know, like, and they have a word. If you take it as a process, they are going to do it in process. If you are talking about taxonomy, you can see, you know, like those who are knowing better in technology and those who know less. So those who know more, they can accept it maybe, you know, like more and go. If you are talking about mental map, you have to come with a mental map of novice or expert, you know, like in technology. Okay, so another testing the model, taxonomy.
Activity.
Activity models.
Models.
Activity model is about, you know, like something that people do. Activity model. It's like how they go about, you know, like doing things.
Like in the morning, like this, or
Uh,
planning, for example, application like this?
Yeah, how they do, you know, it's like a mundane kind of an activity on their. So process is about the process. And if you think about it deep, it is also related to what? Related to types of knowledge. Sometimes knowledge is a procedural knowledge. You understand what is procedural knowledge? How to bake a cake, how to, you know, it's like,
Steps.
yeah, process. And decision models also, it has to do with taking decisions, and it is part of leadership and how, you know, like you organize. This is a whole knowledge also. Transition models is how you do things in transition and test it at different transition points. Activity model is about, you know, like doing mundane things or doing something that is considered an activity. Taxonomies is, we do it in science, we do it in, this you are familiar since you are medicine, you know, like it's taxonomies. In education also we have taxonomies like Bloom taxonomy, understanding, the novel of understanding.
Taxonomy when we have the different categories, when we can categorize the data, right?
Yeah, we have different categories.
Uh-huh.
For example, in science they understand it in terms of pathology, yeah? There are different kind of illness that belong together. And so they understand this does not belong. So that is why you have different specialties.
It is possible to use more than one models.
It is possible to use the same data for different things. Like the example of the fish of between the
Like mental and scope, mental and taxonomy, for example.
It is advisable to stick with one, but you can look at the things that, for example, in different modalities. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of when I say the mental maps, you remember the fish between the expert and those who are novice, and I give the kitchen example. You can say, it's like, okay, what are those things do differently to arrive at this? So what different modalities? And it's the same with the mental. You can use it for different question with your things. This will add to your data and depth of data. Because in qualitative research, we look for the depth of data more than proliferation of, like more information that does not. The last thing is test the model. And testing the model.
But before, doctor, like for my dissertation, I have factors,
Yeah.
5 factors influencing something. Where is it?
In decision making?
Yeah.
Decision making?
Decision
model.
Decision model.
What?
Decision models.
Yes, novels.
No, school climate factors influencing adolescent sense of school
She means she
belonging.
has a problem and there are 5 factors affecting this problem. Her research
No.
fits in which...
No, not that there is a problem.
Oh, okay, sorry.
لا, the school climate factors, how the school climate factor influence adolescent sense of school belonging.
So this could be one of the it could be, like it could be, like a transition models. Because the environment, it doesn't, the behavior, you remember the things that we talk about and this is belong to the grounded theory. If you come to me, it's like the conditional matrix, sometimes the environment, you remember this, the behavior, and the thoughts, and the emotion, all those are in the in a conditional matrix, and this is very much belong to, I believe it is belong to the part of transitional models, maybe. And because this is what? This is grounded theory. So you want to come with, if you have a big number, you interview it, you can come with the theory of how different things interplay in terms of emotion, in terms of thinking, in terms of...
You mean that the research properly determines which of which model is used?
To some extent, yeah. If it is a procedural knowledge, I want to know what is... If I want to make, like a theory, it is through grounded theory. It is procedural, very procedural, and you go through process. What are models? I asked these questions earlier. Models are simplification of complicated real things. What you look at the environment, you look at different things. Is that true? That make me, like belong to this school or see it as walls. I don't have any sense of belonging to this school. So, those complicated things, we can make them simple. Actually, the title of this workshop was simplification of complicated real things called model. In our life, we are dealing with different kind of, like mental mapping of things in your daily life. I'm sure every one of you, okay? So that analysis involves when building the model, testing it, displaying and validating models. Those are the phases. Different kind of models. It could be a physical model. Like what? Like a toy. This is a physical model. It could be a virtual model, like computer game. It could be a numerical model, the stock market. So all those people, I remember, like one of students in engineering. She came to me and she's like doing something in about the historical things of a museum. I tell her, it's like, how do you think of taking, it's like museum as a text? You understand? We miss that point. For example, with her, you are not just dealing with the factors, you deal with the school itself as a text. You understand what I mean? All postmodern ideas, look at this university. We can think about it as a text. In terms of building, how people interact inside it, it's like a paper. So when you come to this school, also at this university, there is some kind of things in your mind. So we say that computer game, virtual models, numerical models, stock market, or hurricane. Those models, they sometimes made in numbers and tell you, it's like this hurricane after 25, and you see the radar, it's like it's going to hit here and all of that. So it is part of it. Or numerical turn into visual models. It is always the case. When, and this is tell you something, when we talk about themes, we are talking almost about, not exactly, but similar to variables in quantitative. You get the idea? Variables in quantitative are the building block of quantitative research, the variability. But here we don't deal with that. But in most cases, qual and qual, when you end, and I always tell my students like that, when you end up with a quantitative research, how you are going to describe it? You are going to describe it in words, yeah? So, it is numerical expressions that you turn it. And that is why sometimes we quantify So, statistical models and text analysis, adding weight to direction, it is a way of conceiving the factors that add weight to other factors. And this is what we mean. It is in statistics, it is true, and also it is in qualitative data, true. For example, leadership. What makes a good leadership? What is nested behind in quantitative research? And it's thinking about nesting. Think also about nesting. A different conceptual model. It can chronicle a complicated process, like women gain and loss of weight. So building models, it is identify key concepts, so constructs, same as we are talking in quantitative, yeah? Getting handle on things. Linking key constructs, and this is by conditional matrices, and testing the model is the most important thing. Choosing among many themes identified. Prioritize the theme in terms of their impact, you will wind up with dozens. You will have, when you analyze your data, you may have different themes, but sometimes you want to do what? There are some themes are more important, are themier than others, because they are at the center of the things. You will wind up with dozens. Analyze is about what? Doing, whittling the number down. Because it's like you end up with, think about that. Sometimes when we put our data, it's like 100 and 100 and 100 pages. What am I going to do with this? I'm going to organize it, whittling it down. And this is all research will do. Research is a reduction of the experience, being quantitative or qualitative. You reduce the whole thing to a very separate core from periphery themes. Sometimes those are the core, like when we deal with central idea or main idea and supporting details. With a central idea, it is a theme and there is supporting themes or sub-themes. Yep. Selective coding, according to grounded theorists. serious and centrality. What are the most important element here that can come or subsume and guiding handling things. Linking things, and when we say linking things, this is what we call axial coding. Some grounded theories, I call it that. Returning to the data for further analysis. I dig data. Identify the links between key constants. Do a compare and contrast exercise. Once you have the link in your mind, lay themes out, choosing a model type. When I see, at that time I can use my model type. So, as I explained for you, there are different actor interaction models. Why they call them actors? Because in qualitative research, we always talk about meanings, and so what do we have? Actor interaction models. It could be a process models. It could be decision models. It could be transition models. It could be activity models. It could be taxonomy. It could be a mental map.
Are there other models?
What is that?
Are there any other models?
It could be, yeah. But those mostly, the major models that people think about it. Can you think of one? We can add it here. Yeah.
Here, the model determined after getting the data or before?
It is in the nature, I believe, of when they say to you, decide on the models, sometimes the data turn out to be that way. But sometimes if you are talking about a process or you are talking about, decision, then there is a hierarchy kind of thing that I am expecting them, to be, how decision is made. Or transition, when people get from this place to the other one. Or mental map. So this is we showed it to you before, behavior, prior to event, current event, prior to event. This is actor 1, actor 2, actor 3, and so forth. An interaction prior to the event, so their behavior, their style, their emotion, their environment, and physical and social. Could be a physical environment, could be a social. Process model, and this is what more information about process model. Process model represent how event unfold over time, okay? Main event, triggers, historical context, immediate reaction, long-term and consequences, behavior, thought, emotion, and environment. So, process model. How these things unfold, the main event happen, it triggers something, it has a historical context. You have this in your handouts, so you have this as a handouts also. You can write them. Decision models. When we talk about decision model, take into account the stakeholder. I'm not going to take my decision like build on me, say, I'm a leader. What do the stakeholder believe? This is very important. You are not taking decision in a vacuum. When you take decision, it impact the stakeholder. Recognize the problem first, and then diagnose the problem, generating of alternatives, and then selection of alternatives, and then monitoring and evaluation, and then one thing it could be the resolution. Okay? Transition models, as we describe it, all about choices and shifting option, activity model, a cluster of activities. So taxonomies, it deals with how we think a set of things are related. Mental map draws out about certain things or issues. Step 3, model building is an iterative process. We look at cases and see whether they fit a theory. Constant comparison methods. We can use it for constant comparison with other theory. That is why, in terms of qualitative research, not the literature review that drive you. What drive you is a theory. Does it fit any kind of theory? Except for ground theory because you want to resist that theory to build your own. Negative case analysis define our theory and explanation when the center doesn't hold. Sometimes, some cases will become negative theory, like negative result. That is so okay and it is natural and it should be treated and it could give richness to the things. Every case is unique, even the negative ones. You need to arrive at some sort of closure. Model duration called by ground theory. The real words of model is not its building, but its testing. For the rest of this workshop, I'm going to give you like a board, and if you are working on something or sketch whatever, I will give you like time to work on it, okay? And I'll give you, don't use your pen or pencil, I'll give you that. Okay, you can work on two. So think about the model, and I will help you to conceptualize how to reconceptualize your model. Yeah, I have one. Yeah, I have them. Huh? Yeah, you have a neighbor? I have one. You can have this. And if you can work with okay. And this is exactly what happened in qualitative research. You don't do your data by yourself. You usually, it's like, even if you want to extract themes or do something, you have to bring more people to discuss. And, it's like, some disagreement may arise, but this will give you in-depth understanding of your data until the agreement. So most students, especially like my master's students, they go and do like the analysis of data just alone. So this is not a way. It's like you have a panelist, you discuss, you show them, they'll give you their ideas about like what this theme we can call, and what do you think the major themes are. You don't undermine at all the power of consulting people even in your data. You understand what I mean? So they can give you ideas that...
I do this manually.
Okay. You do it manually?
Yeah.
Okay. So show it to them. And tell them, like it is not printed yet. Okay, don't talk. Cover there. Here, check what?
What? Blue.
Blue? Green. Yeah. Okay.
What's your favorite color?
I don't understand testing the model. So actually, you said that we will have our data,
Yeah.
like a transcript, interview, whatever.
Yeah.
And then out of that, we will make our model.
Here.
So testing, it doesn't mean that we compare with the literature if someone else.
Exactly.
Or
Validating it
you
in terms of you can follow up. Usually, sometimes people, they don't end up with the qualitative part. If you want to understand something, what is qualitative? Qualitative is about understanding a certain phenomena.
It answering how. I think it answers why and how.
Yeah,
In a way, yeah.
but it is also aimed at understanding. It is not like quantitative. I don't have a presupposition about things. I want to understand things. So if I arrive at the model, this is the things that after a long, cycle revision, this is what I can, say about my model. I can also extend my data to do a quantitative.
So this is the testing.
It could be a part of the testing. I can do, yeah. But testing a model is like, does this hold true? Is it, exactly? So to make sure, it's like evaluation of your model.
Understand. checking the literature? Is it by what? How can we do that?
In this, you can do it by the trustworthiness and go back to the data. You understand? So it is not like testing, because in your mind it is the quantitative kind of testing. So testing a model, does this model fit exactly what I expected or what I think? And people, they can, when you talk about the condensation of data, it's like, if I feel that I fell short from the data that I need, I can add more and more participant, and so it's like I'm perpetually, I'm thinking this is a model that represents the whole type of data. So, but there is a backdrop of testing that I can go to it? I don't think so, because it is a qualitative model. You understand what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yep. So think about anything, process of, like cake making, about what do you do in your research?
I'm studying the human factor
I'm hungry.
in the houses.
Human
factor in houses. What are the things that affect their motivation, their behavior in general, let's say?
So behavior is a construct.
No, I'm studying the energy saving in houses. And in order to save energy, I want to study occupants' motivation. Motivational drivers to save energy.
Okay, that is so nice, so nice. Yeah.
Because we have sustainable houses, but people are not using them.
Yeah, what do you think? Your hunches, not hypothesis. What drive people, like to save? And, like, for economic factor?
No, do you mean with the factors?
Yeah.
No, we have the policies, we have the economic, we have the culture, we have the awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's part of the things. So you didn't collect your data yet?
No, I collected the data.
Okay.
And I did interviews.
You did interviews.
Yeah.
So from the interview, if you want to map all things, what appear there? What the people say?
Yeah, people said actually in general I can categorize the data that
That is right. This is the themes that you have.
Yes, and I can spread them from the contextual factors and non-contextual factors. It means that the factors that is especially unique in the context of UAE and others that is similar to the literature. It doesn't matter the
So you don't have anything to do with the literature. The literature plays a minor role. You are the person who is there, you understand, and the person who decides in your data. You don't, in qualitative research, you don't intend to agree or disagree with the literature.
Yeah.
And actually, the literature review has a minor role. It doesn't mean that it is not important. When I say, like to my students, literature review, because you are talking about, you have your literature review. Your literature review build over your ideas and everything.
Yes.
But your conceptual, what we call theoretical framework, this is what drive you. And this is what it put, it put you in a way that how you can, maximize the likelihood of getting meaningful data from your interviews. So you go back, for example, in economic factors, you'll find that saving and those things could be part of the themes.
Right.
You don't talk about factor also. You talk about themes.
Yes.
Because factor, when we do factor, we analyze it with factor analysis. Yeah, we do it with quantitative. Because you are mixing still with quantitative ideas, so it's not factors.
Yeah,
Are the themes that I get it from the people talk. They say, even I cannot call them, budgeting or economic, for, and the other factor is social, and the other thing is could be
The level of education, the awareness.
exactly,
Yes.
exactly. How educated people are they different than?
Yes, these are
So
things
it could be continuous thing. Yeah.
So it will be the taxonomies.
Taxonomies
I can categorize the themes, or
It could be taxonomies, yes. Yeah, it could be taxonomies.
Or decision making. It's
Or it could be a decision making
what's
if
the decision?
because the decision to go for
for saving.
this house.
You see, it's like you see the power of people. She gives her another idea. Yeah, you start to understand the things.
Mhm.
It could be if I'm talking about things that gradually happen, it's transition. If I'm talking about, like taxonomies, I'm talking about categories, big categories.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay.
now we will try to do the.
Yeah, sketch the themes, your
Okay,
themes,
yeah.
okay? Sketch the themes and we'll come back. Where is yours?
Anna,
Yeah, write it here so people
yeah,
can
I
see.
see this menu actually, but I stop because it's incorporating because these are
Yeah.
all things.
Yeah, okay.
To show how these influence then I have macro system, exhaust system, our national agenda, the very first educational system like this, among the first educational system in the world, 15 بالتمز 20 بالفيزا.
So the decision up there.
Yeah, how
The
to
top-
focus on exam, accountability, all of these things. The other one will policies. Once these policies are affecting the
But are they affecting them directly? For
No,
example,
indirectly.
classroom practices, it could be teacher, students, relationship, no. It could be, but
لا
not
not
really.
directly. That system affecting them indirectly.
Okay.
State policy.
So write the main things, one here. School climate could be affected by, like,
مثلا بتكتب لي cultural
Economies,
and instead of connecting this, is this like making like, this is a circle, this is the circle, a little circle, and then arrows.
Arrows, عاملة arrow.
Yeah, it could be like school climate here, and then, it's like an arrow here, and for the other circle here, the other circle here.
This one.
Yeah, this school climate, and instead, do you think also, it's like the use of the arrow, do you think those are affecting the school climate?
Yeah.
Yeah, and instead of, it's like making the arrow, it comes from this. Yeah, is it not the school climate which makes that? And then carry come with the micro and macro. Yeah.
لا دكتور إن هون I will put the factors.
Yeah, which affects the school climate.
And then here the.
Do you think those are the school climate is creating those factors? Or do you think those factors make the school climate?
Those factors.
Okay. Yeah. So think about it. What is the relationship? Yes.
Required to have a model in every
No. Yeah.
Make things clear.
Yeah. But it crystallizes things. It's some for you, especially in your dissertation. You are talking about a big idea that you can draw a map of it. You understand what I mean? Usually, it's like that. So many things. So when you try to talk about them, you talk for them about them forever. You understand? So the conceptual models, it precisely tells you, it's like what is the whole thing is about. Did you make something? Did you create something, a model? I will come to you there. And this is what we talk talk about, you know, like model saturation, people usually in grounded theory, and grounded theory usually, you know, like they want to be, why they are interested in that, because they are interested in many theories.
So what else you have?
From these, I have several things.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just saying,
it's okay.
you put the word
Yeah.
information
Yeah.
and put this
Analysis of
coding.
the content, content analysis is by
Influence
itself
the one.
curve.
Coding.
Exactly, you know, like I'm analyzing something.
For me, I don't know.
It's for the content.
Yeah, for me, I
For
don't
example,
It's fine, I can just take a picture of the what you're
if I'm reading a group of
While you are working without faces.
like peers
they are
and
going to
bullying.
No,
And put the R.
listen,
Okay. And now,
listen.
time of friendship, work problem.
We can talk without from the program, don't build, for example, a non-factory other things that they mentioned, for some of them, they say, some of them are interested in building
Safety, yeah, safety.
So from the total repetition of what they are saying, this is what I'm going to describe my
Leadership from, leadership.
So yours is about, can I help you a little bit? I'm sorry if I didn't.
Yeah, can we have an example?
Okay?
هي أنا حاططها بهذا تحت البوليس.
Okay? Are you in special education?
Teacher-student relationships, communication.
Leadership. Inclusive environment for special education.
Communication.
including those children in general.
Okay.
Support, care.
So you are going to talk about the role of,
The current state.
yeah. So you are going to talk about genocide.
أحس إنه أنا
You want to understand the role or the position of inclusion. Is that true? You don't investigate. This is different. This is always about if for qualitative research,
Right now I'm studying business administration.
you don't have any side
Yes, definitely.
presupposition. You don't have any
No, 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 I have
roles.
experience in
Otherwise, you are going to do
I have education, language
For
translation.
example, the principles, how they understand, are they in fact aware of the
Because
benefit
I
of the
finished language translation.
Actually, maybe you can give me your opinion because I'm still thinking.
I'm sorry, can you listen to her and if we can give her some feedback?
Yeah, my topic is about school climate factors and its influence on adolescents' sense of school belonging. So, I adopted the Bonfran-Brenner's ecological system theory. The ecological system theory talks that we have 4 systems. Macro, the outer one is macro, then another one is the exo, after that meso, then the microsystem which is inside the school. And that macro system, the outer one, affecting indirectly the school. I specified that in the macro system for the UAE is the national agenda. I took the national agenda. Maybe you are not aware about it because you are in different fields, but it's about that they want the UAE from the best educational system in the world, 10th exams and PISA to reach 15th ranking or 20th rank, like this. So all of this focus, they are focusing on exams, paperwork, all of these. All of this outside is affecting the exosystem, which is under it, which is the policies. Policies, they will create policies, and all of the policies will be affecting the school climate. From the interviews and all of these, I got to know that teacher-student relationship is very important, peers, safety and social practices, and the classroom practices. Inside the classroom, what's going on. All of these will influence school climate, and the school climate will influence students' sense of school belonging. From every factor here, I got several themes and sub-themes. So I don't know, but only my question is, okay, I put school climate here, and here the factors, and the arrows coming to the factors. For example, a teacher-student relationship, a theme reinforcement, support and care, communication, all of these affecting teacher-student relationship. How all of these, I want to put it in a map in influencing student sense of school belonging.
One way of doing it, it's seeing the major themes or what you call factors, and you are going to draw them in a way that,
from here,
and then, and you say, this is a microsystem, this is a mesosystem, this is, and how it works to create, the
like up top macro system,
like herring pond with a fish.
Fish?
Yeah, the fish, from the back of the fish, and then it goes back, and the eye of the fish, this is what? This is the sense of belonging comes from different factors at the macro level, at this level, but you have to do some kind of typologies or referencing, in terms of your theory, that fit the theory and fit your purpose of the analysis. You got the idea? You got the herringbone strategy? It's like a skeleton of the fish. So this is the sense of belonging. It could be, like the big body of the fish, and then you go down, like those things. They go in terms.
A school climate factor, it should be like this.
It is not like this. It is, like what affect at different levels.
Maybe
because you are talking about leveling at the macro system.
Yeah, but this is all here, but micro.
Okay.
So what is the
So you
what
just
is
focus on the macro.
Yes,
A
micro.
Yeah.
No need to include all the.
No elaboration,
But
since you don't take it. So
like this, how I will show that these influence sense of
you
belonging.
can put them in a way that
Okay.
it is gradual influence, can be from the left to the right. It's like filters.
I think she needs to do the table, right? She can do the table, matrix table. So here she will put the factors, you have everything. And here you put all your levels. So starting from macro, meso, blah, blah, and the last one will be the sense of belongingness. Or you will omit something that you don't need, and you will keep school climate, for example, and the sense of belongingness, you got it? So because your last stage is this one, right? You want to show how everything can influence different
And in your
stages.
data, as they is a way, and this is what we call about direction, you remember?
Yeah.
As the classroom practice or peer interaction, for me, it is more, I have a big circle for this, I have a small circle because it is not the big theme, it is the sub-theme of, so maybe classroom
Okay,
practice.
I will ask you later because I don't want to take others.
Yeah, because the time is over.
I know, I know.
She's
Thank
going
you.
to also, very quick, what's your name, I'm sorry?
My name is Munia.
Munia.
Yeah. Okay. I present.
You can go there.
أقول لك إيه خرب دارك.
Yeah, Bunia?
Okay, the aim of my study is to save energy in the housing sector. Let's just have a general idea. The energy saving in houses is affected mainly by three main factors: the building itself, the system, and the users that are using the system and living in the space. So the users, we want to change or affect on their behavior, but we cannot control their behavior. So we will ask them, what would motivate you to save energy, and I'm going to do that for you. So we have motivational drivers. The drivers, there are several themes affecting their motivation to save energy, including the socio-cultural factor, which is affecting on their values, their norms. It's mainly from the family, the neighbors, their friends, and also their awareness. That could be from education, their level of education, or maybe from marketing campaigns or social media, or the upbringing environment. And also we have economy, their income, and incentives. Incentives that the country are giving them to motivate them. And we have the policies, including the energy price, which is a mandatory thing. They cannot control it. And the fees, in addition to the house ownership law that doesn't allow non-locals to own a house in UAE. Also, we have emotions, users' characteristics, the age, gender, family size, and the presence of children, and the level of comfort and satisfaction. Some of these themes are related in a way. For example, the level of education may affect their values and norms, and also the economy and policies, because the house ownership, some people may say, why I'm going to buy an expensive energy efficient product in my house and I'm not own it, like I may leave it after 2 years. So it's also related to the economy. The emotions is, according to the data that I collected, I found that gender is related to the emotions, because women are more emotionally react to environmental problems, and also characteristics with the level of comfort, because the age of the user affects their level of comfort. The old people are feeling comfort in different way than the young, and that's it.
So
Please
good.
let me know your opinion.
Nice,
You
very
can,
nice.
yeah, very nice. And what college? Wafa in College of Education, and you are?
Engineering.
I'm in engineering.
In engineering, okay.
Yeah.
So good.
Very nice.
But did you interview expat and nationals?
Yes, I interviewed locals and non-locals, expats
There is
and
difference?
Maybe-
yes, I found difference.
Yeah, exactly. This is what you say. It's like also I can highlight the difference between how they look at it. And because I'm not sure for the national, the terms of energy and water and electricity, is it free, is not free, it's like, or with a little
Okay,
amount. So that could impact
Yeah,
and how
right.
they react.
Exactly. The main difference between their usage, the expats and locals, was the energy price, because as you said, and even before, the energy price was free for locals, and now it's mandatory to pay it, but it's still very cheap compared to the non-locals. This is affecting the results, and also some of the socio-cultural factors, because we know in UAE there are many nationalities with different cultural backgrounds. This is also affecting the results.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Very nice, yes.
Very nice. Good stuff.
Please,
Do I have to mention in the conceptual framework the difference between locals and experts?
Yeah, you can say, it's like their ideas are different in this respect.
Okay.
Yeah, because it gives depth to your data, it's like, because the human factor and how they make meaning and according to their differences is very important. Thank you very much. Remember that, it's like, we always, it's like, in our life, we go by models, conceptual models, mental models. We try to make sense of data, we try to make sense of our life. So this is exactly what we do. And always you want to refine and test it.